Did you know that 70% of gifted individuals identify themselves as introverts? Barack Hussein Obama, the 44th POTUS and the very first Black president of the United States of America. Michael Jeffrey Jordan, NBA legend, businessman with a net worth of $4.2 billion. Beyoncé Giselle Knowles Carter, American singer, songwriter, performer, mother, that girl does it all. And last but certainly not least, Robin Rihanna Fenty, Barbadian sweetheart, singer, entrepreneur, and mother. Now, would you be surprised if I told you all that all 4 of these individuals consider themselves to be introverts? See, I definitely was. All 4 of these individuals are major people within their respective industries and have accomplished amazing things. Now, let me reintroduce myself. I am Alea Simone Mack. I'm a junior accounting major here at Shaw University. And one thing I can confidently say is Shaw University helped me gain my voice. I grew up in a relatively large family with many different personality types. And I'm the first to say, growing up, I wasn't sure what it meant to be an introvert, extrovert, or anything in between. But one thing, well, not one, but 3 things I knew for sure was, 1, I hated talking to people, especially in front of large crowds. Kind of ironic, right? Number 2, I hated being the center of attention. And as a middle child, this was perfect. And 3, I didn't want anybody constantly in my business. And I feel like we can all agree with at least one of those things. Now I can say that I know my mother and my older siblings were all extroverts. So what this meant was, if my food was wrong, my mother was gonna send it back. And my older sisters, they were constantly there to hold it down on the playground. So I wasn't really worried about anything. I grew up a 3-sport athlete, and this gave me the opportunity to bond with other individuals without having to have the awkward conversations. So as, how was your weekend? Or what's the weather like? You know, I was able to express myself by my performance on the field. My teammates were typically my friends because we were around each other 24/7. So like I said, things were pretty smooth sailing growing up, and this was perfectly fine for me. Besides when I had to go to school, and how many of you guys remember popcorn reading? Yeah, my worst nightmare. So it wasn't that I was incapable of reading in front of the class. It was the fact that I was worried about maybe stumbling over a word or somebody thinking I was illiterate. And I already had to deal with saying here every day when my name was called. This was a crazy world. But things were pretty smooth sailing for the most part until I went off to college. When I landed here in Raleigh, North Carolina, I no longer had my mother there to send back the food, or I no longer had my siblings there to advocate for me. I was forced to actually be my own adult now. This was crazy. You see, the mind of an introvert is constantly roaming, kind of like a hamster in a ball. For example, every single time I go to the gas station, I think of 2 things. 1, as I go to grab the handle, put it in my car, press the button. What if this one time I come to pump the gas and the person that put the gas in the gas station put the wrong gas, so therefore I'm putting diesel in my tank instead of something else? Whoa. And then the second thing is, worst case scenario, I just happen to just come get snatched up. But like I said, the mind of an introvert is constantly roaming. And it's kind of hard for us to connect with other individuals, such as job interviews, networking events, or just making genuine connections. I experienced my very first networking event the summer of my freshman year. I had received my first corporate internship, and nobody ever warned us about the 5 to 9 after the 9 to 5. So not only do I have to come into this new world where I have to dress up and sit behind a desk, I have to go to the 5 to 9 where I actually have to talk to people again and again. This was crazy. So you all may be wondering, why does this matter? Today, I want to use my platform to be the voice for the voiceless. You see, growing up, I didn't have much of a voice, and I was okay with that, but it wasn't realistic to what my future held. And not only do I want to reach the introverts today, I want to connect to other individuals so they can learn to connect with the introverts in their life. Just because you're not an introvert doesn't mean your wife, your husband, your best friend, your coworker, they may often feel misunderstood. I want to leave you all with 3 A's today. The first is awareness. By simply being here today, you're taking the first step to be understanding to that special introvert in your life. We live in a world where we're constantly worried about ourselves. Trust me, I'm the first to admit it. But if we take the time to understand the minds of others today, we can build better connections and progress as a society. My second A is acceptance. We live in a world where extroverted tendencies are typically practiced. Why do we always have to work in a team? It's okay, we can do work by ourselves. We need to learn how to adapt to not only the extroverts of the world, but the introverts. We're capable of amazing things, just let us be ourselves. And the last A is appreciation. We may often feel misunderstood because we don't want to go out on a Friday night. My perfect Friday night includes me, my bean bag, my heated blanket, maybe some Chipotle, and a season of Grey's Anatomy. I'm okay with staying in, but your husband or your wife may feel misunderstood because you think they don't love you because they don't want to go out on Friday nights. They just need that time to recharge. Now, if being on stage today, it was worth being on stage today, even though I'm extremely nervous and really antsy right now, but it was worth it because I want the introverts out there to understand that we're all capable of amazing things. I would have never seen myself getting on stage about 3 years ago. I want to acknowledge the fact that ever since I came to Shaw University, I have walked in roles that I've never seen myself walking in. As I stated before, I was just crowned the 81st Miss Shaw University.
Come on, Miss Shaw.
Thank you. But yeah, like I said, I want you guys to leave here feeling a bit more understanding or understood as an introvert, extrovert, anything in between. Thank you.